it was such a busy day, 30,000 people at the beach. Wow. It was adrenaline rush. You couldn't control it. I saw it happen and I was first on the scene.
We are on an island continent flanked by beaches where the surf, sun and sand frame our national identity. Surf lifesavers are the hawk-eyed guardians of the shores. Today's guest, Jean-Paul Buhagiar, is one of these selfless volunteers. Jean-Paul is a decorated surf lifesaver with over 15 years of service, a National Volunteer Medal recipient and a 4-time Gold Medallion holder, the highest honour in lifesaving. He's been first on scene saving lives. Come with us as we dive into the world of a surf lifesaver. Jean-Paul, welcome.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Very good, very good. Jean-Paul Buhagiar, great name. Is that French?
It is, actually. Yeah, it's.
I like it.
Background's French, Maltese, Lebanese.
Someone said that they joined the Surf Lifesaving Club, but it actually saved their life. What were you doing just before you started your surf lifesaving?
I joined back in 2008 through an invitation from a friend of mine at the time. I had just been done for drink driving.
Okay.
A legal friend of mine advised me to do some more community-based work. My colleague or friend at the time said, why don't you join the surf club? It's a community-based involvement sort of organisation.
Right.
You get fit and healthy, and I was on a fit and healthy sort of path. Opportunity to spend your entire summer at the beach.
So what year are we talking?
2007?
Yeah.
2008.
Okay.
I think Australia just had the World Cup.
Yep.
The Rugby World Cup, and it was sort of around that time that I went, okay, I'm going to join.
Yeah. And you loved it.
I just stuck to it straight away. I have been doing it ever since. Got my kids involved and absolutely adore it.
So it's the people. It's quite social.
Yeah, it's very social. It's like growing up as a Catholic. It is like going to the beach is like my church on Sunday. It is very involving. The more you put into it, the more you get out from it, get out of it.
That's interesting because when I was talking to you before, I have the vision of volunteer hero sort of thing. You said,
yeah.
I'm no hero. It's just what we do.
Yes, exactly. It's you're trained to do. You're a first aider. You're first responder. Basically, you're there first on the scene. Ambulance and doctors, they're the professionals, or the professional lifeguards, they're the professionals. We're just trained to be first on the scene. The training that we go through is unbelievable.
If someone wants to become a surf lifesaver, what do they do?
Do a prerequisite swim, which is you've got to do 400 metres in 9 minutes, which is very much achievable for most people if they've got a good amount of fitness.
Yep.
Then you have to participate a bronze medallion, and a bronze medallion can go from anywhere from a lightning bronze, might be a week's time, to an average bronze medallion, which will probably take about 8 to 9 weeks. You'll go through doing a run, swim, run. You'll do first aid. You'll do CPR. You'll learn how to ride a board, which is really important because it's probably the quickest way to do a rescue for someone. Swimming. Oh, it's in and out.
Board's the quickest.
Boards are probably, apart from a power craft, yeah, boards are probably the quickest, depending on the swell, of course. And depending on how strong a board paddler or swimmer you are, I would say that boards are quicker than doing a tube rescue.
Is that the main sort of rescue you will do these days?
It really depends on where you are. I think when I first started doing bronze or doing lifesaving, there was a lot more board and tube rescues.
Right.
As my career developed, I started doing a lot more IRB rescues. Now, IRB is inflatable rescue boat.
Yep.
I became a crew and a driver, and as a driver, you generally operate your patrol from the water. That way, your responsive time is a lot quicker than someone sees you on the beach, they signal for assistance, you run in, you do the rescue. Whereas all they have to do is go, Bondi IRB, we've got a situation, 4 Ps, they point us out, we're there in a second.
Oh,
so
right. You're already out there.
You're already out there. You're waiting for some action, basically.
Oh, waiting for some action. Do you love the action or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been in a chopper?
Only skydiving out of one, but never to do a rescue out of a chopper. I've got colleagues from the surf club they operate in a chopper basically. They do surf rescue.
Is that a big part? Do you still? I remember seeing those choppers as much. Are they still?
Westback choppers are still around.
Yep.
There's more. May more happen in summer. You'll see them more flying around in summer.
Right.
But yeah, very much so. They happen all year round. They operate all year round. It's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was there a baptism of fire for you? Your first rescue?
My actual first rescue wasn't at the beach.
Okay.
Which was interesting. My first rescue was at Sydney Airport.
Right.
At Sydney Domestic Terminal.
Okay.
Of all places, I just fresh out of doing a bronze, and I was working in a cafe, and husband and wife were coming down the escalators just off a domestic flight, and I think later I found out they were on the way to see a neurologist, and the husband lost his balance on the escalator and went tumbling forward. The wife went to grab him, she went tumbling forward and landed at the bottom of the escalator with it continually rolling forward. I saw it happen and I was first on the scene. Grabbed the phone, obviously pressed stop on the escalator to prevent further injury, but was calling emergency straight away.
Did you have to do anything while being there first?
They landed quite well, thank God. But I just reassured them, made sure that there was no spinal injuries, just supported them, was there, just to assist really as much as I could.
Yeah. Wow. And so then ambulance comes in.
Ambulance response time was phenomenal.
Wow.
I've never seen two ambulance turned up and fire brigade turned up as well. It was pretty amazing.
Wow.
Pretty amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Originally, why did surf lifesaving come about? Doing a little bit of research before, it's about 140 years. Interestingly enough, the ocean didn't always have the attraction that it does today.
True.
They used to be a bit afraid of it. You know, that's why there were a lot of baths around Sydney and this sort of thing. So it's fascinating. It was really to compensate. People started to learn how to swim.
Correct. Yeah.
And then you guys were needed in order to prevent.
I think 1907 was Bondi's first. I think Bondi was awarded nominated as the first surf lifesaving club.
Right.
I think there are bathers before that, but Bondi was actually signified as the first life-saving club.
Right.
It was, when you look back at the history, there's discussions saying between Bronte, Bondi, and North Bondi who was first, but apparently Bondi was first, which is gotta love that.
Are you at North Bondi?
Bondi.
You're
Bondi. I'm in the middle.
Oh, you're in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. You're right in the thick of it.
Right in the thick of it. So Bondi patrols basically from ramp. If you look at the beach, you've got 6 ramps all the way down the beach. It starts from South End and it's ramp 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way to 6. Bondi patrols from ramp 4, which is ramp 5, all the way down to south. Now the south end of Bondi is traditionally surfers. You generally have surfers nowadays with COVID. Everyone's a surfer, but traditionally the south end was for surfers.
The point.
And the point, exactly, backpackers, rip, all sort of surf zone. But then you've now got foamies, and so they're all over the beach. Generally the rule is that you can't surf between the flags, which is very safe, which is great. You can surf outside the flags, but not anything with a fin is what Waverley has said is that you can't surf between the flags.
Anything with a fin.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, understand. Jean-Paul, what's the difference between a lifeguard and a surf lifesaver?
Yeah, so a surf lifesaver volunteer on a Saturday and Sunday and a public holiday. We wear red and yellow and are usually quite easily signified with a checkered cap, which I've got one here for you.
And that's compulsory to wear, is that right?
Yeah, it is.
That's compulsory.
It is. That's a red and white,
there
or red
she
and
is.
yellow
There
checkered.
she is.
Yeah.
So you've got to have that on, yeah. And is it just a visual thing?
It is a visual thing. It identifies you straight away. You don't necessarily need to wear it, but it's very much, I believe, when I was working as a patrol captain, absolutely had to wear it, red and yellow, for sure. It identifies you straight away. You can see yourself in the ocean, or someone can spot you in the ocean, especially if you need assistance. A lifeguard are there 365 days a year. They get paid by the council or councils, so whether it be Waverley or Randwick or North Shore, Northern Beaches.
And they're sort of blue, aren't they?
And they are blue, generally. Pool lifeguards are also blue, but council lifeguards are blue generally, and their qualification is a lot higher. They have to do serious qualifications to actually pass as a lifeguard. As awards, so the Gold Medallion is sort of a run, swim, run as such. It's a fitness test. Lifeguards have to do double what the Gold Medallion is under a certain time.
Professionals.
Yeah.
But you'd be up there. You'd make it if you wanted to.
Not these days.
No?
Not these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the main role of a lifesaver, Jean-Paul?
Preventative action, really, I suppose.
Preventative action.
Yeah, it's better to do preventative action rather than reactive.
Okay.
If you're doing reactive, you're not doing your job. Preventative is that, you're seeing a danger that's going to happen and you're preventing it from happening.
Yeah.
So, and we're first responders. So if we see something that does need assistance, then we're there. We're there. We're offering as much assistance as we can. It's good.
Quite a lot of responsibility and purpose to a patrol, isn't there, Jean-Paul?
There is, yeah, a little.
Yeah,
Little.
And you love it, right?
Yeah, it's quite addictive. you get a buzz. I think maybe it's an endorphin buzz, or it's a
that's good.
I don't know. It's a zing. It's helping, saving someone's life, or stopping someone from drowning and pulling someone out of the water or out of a rip. It's great. It's a bit of a selfless act, but it's a bit of fun.
When you came into the club, Jean-Paul, was there someone who, for you, that was an influence, that became a bit of a mentor for you at all?
Yep. Yeah. So now a good mate of mine, and my training buddy as well. He was my teacher, and then he was also my patrol captain, and he's been a solid influence.
And what did you learn from him?
Everything.
One thing.
Everything.
Is there one thing?
How to talk to people.
Oh, okay. And what was he saying with that? Under a stressful situation.
This guy, pretty calm individual. Cool, calm, collected.
So when it's a stressful situation, he's saying, keep calm.
Yeah, just take a breath. Relax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my mate, he's just very chilled. He's very calm and collected. He's got this assertive voice. He's just really good. He's really good. He's calm, collected. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. And so, did he teach you something about how the club works, operates, that was useful for you?
There was a couple of people really across my span that I've had mentors all the way through.
Okay.
My mate Kirby, great, fantastic. Then I had Dr. John, who was in IOB. He was also always taught me to patrol from the water. So when I was doing my IOB, there've been so many more mentors over the 16 years.
Yep.
I've been pretty lucky, really.
What is the single most important safety tip you could give to a general member of the public?
Know your limits.
Okay. No.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
I think that's what we're taught as lifesavers. We're taught it's danger to yourself, first and foremost. If you're going for a rescue, you want to make sure that you're safe. Because if you're going outside of your realm, then you're putting yourself at risk, and you're also putting the people around you and the patient. Okay. So being aware of your own limitations of what you can and can't do is really important.
Your own
so if you see the swell and it looks amazing, it's big and monstrous, which I sort of like, but know what you can and can't do. If it was talking about my son, who we went down the Bondi today, it was high tide. I was well aware of what he can and can't do, which being 2 years old, there's not much he can do. My daughter, who's 8, she's building her confidence in the ocean, which is wonderful to see. I just said, look, I know you can swim, just stay close to shore. And she stayed close to shore. Stay on this side, be aware of this. And every time we go into the ocean, I point her out, or I ask her, what dangers can you see in the ocean? Mm-hmm. So it's more about knowing your limitations, really. I think that's the best thing you could probably give advice to.
Talking about swells and waves, that's how are waves formed?
Wind and sandbanks, really, I suppose.
Why is it crucial to swim between the flags?
It's a very good question. Generally, on a weekend, the flags are patrolled the most. Okay, so there is members there looking after the north and the south flags. They're also, the flagged area is set by the lifeguards because they identify that as the safest place to swim.
Oh, they set that.
Okay. So that the lifeguards on Bondi, they set them. They have a responsibility to really look after. That's their responsibility to make sure that it's always safe. Because Bondi is seen as the most iconic beach in Australia, probably most visited beach in Australia.
How good a beach is it?
It's great. It's amazing.
What type of beach is it, Jean-Paul?
It's a Rips and Tides beach, if that's what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's got fixed rips. It's got flash rips as well, which is quite normal. But it has 3 fixed rips on Bondi. One of the rips actually moves up the beach, but the 2 fixed rips are the Bronte Express, which is down the south end of the beach, and you've got
Bronte Express.
Yeah, Bronte basically takes you around the boot and then all the way around the corner.
Wow. And
then there's also a rip on the north end of the beach that goes out to the boat ramp and then hooks back around. And then there's Backpackers Rip, which generally is, it's named Backpackers Rip because people come down Hall Street and they literally go, oh, ocean, brilliant, jump in the ocean straight away and see you later.
Well, really?
Yeah.
So, Jean-Paul, there's a think line on the beach. Is that correct?
There's a which line?
A think line? Am I right with that? Think line?
What do you mean by that?
Oh, when they come to the beach, they stop, they stand, they look around, and they think before they enter the water. Is that with you guys, or am I off track there?
I think yes and no. Some people who know the beach would stop and go, where am I going to swim? Where's the waves looking, or where are the waves breaking? But I think most people will see the ocean and go, cool, I'm going to go swim in there.
So, Jean-Paul, you turn up to the beach. What are you looking for?
I look for where the waves are breaking. I look at the formation.
Yep.
I look for the rips, where it's forming nicely. As a body surfer, I'm always looking for a hole, a tube, nice formation, how it's rolling.
So where the waves are breaking is good?
Generally, yeah. So it's usually a shallower part. There's usually a sandbar, and that's why flags are set. So flags are set in a shallower part of the beach where there's a sandbar. Rips will come out generally on either side of the flags because of that's deeper water. Water comes in on shallow water and it goes out in deeper water. Now, that could go parallel to the beach or it could go perpendicular to the beach. It's really depending on what it is, depending on the sandbar and all that stuff.
So something easy for people to remember, if the waves are breaking, that's really where...
Generally safe. If it's not breaking, it looks clean and nice and perfect, generally go towards where it's breaking.
Probably where the flags are going to be.
And most of the time, though, Europeans or people from overseas go, oh, it's dead flat, I'm going to go swim there. And that's usually the dangerous part of it.
That's interesting. So you guys have to make tourists, because tourists are your highest, let's probably face it, like they're the highest amount of people that you're rescuing.
Yep.
Do you think that's an awareness thing?
I think a couple of years ago, pre-COVID, I think Qantas or who would have been Virgin, they had an advert on their plane as you'd land, and they would give you education on actually how or where to swim.
Okay.
There was a couple of years ago, there was a scientific research done at Tama showing rips, and they put dye in the ocean, soluble dye, but dye in the ocean, and it showed the rip and how it travelled from Tama around to Bronte and sort of around to Mackenzie's. That was awesome to see that.
Yeah.
I think it's being aware of the ocean is really, and have respect of the ocean as well. It's so important.
respecting Mother Nature. It's powerful,
Always,
isn't it?
very much so.
Very powerful. And it turns pretty quick, huh?
Oh, well, growing up, Mum and Dad always said, never turn your back to the ocean. Never, ever. So even as an adult now, and if I catch myself with my back to the ocean, I go, turn around, and that's straight away, turn around.
Never turn your back
Never
to
turn
the
back to
ocean.
the ocean. You
Yeah,
never know what will
always
happen.
be aware. That's
Yeah,
really good.
correct.
So what do you think the biggest mistake is that you see people doing?
Biggest mistake, swimming?
What do you see people making a big mistake in doing? Is it walking down the end of Hall Street, seeing calm and going straight in?
I think they're usually choosing the wrong place to swim, or ignorance as well, thinking they know better than professionals or lifeguards or lifesavers, and usually giving them the bird, which does happen a lot.
Does happen.
It's a lot of locals would do that as well. Go, no, I know better than you, and just go away, or see you later, or
I know.
profanities are thrown, and before you know it, they might get caught in a rip.
Yeah.
I've seen lifeguards let them. How can I say this? They'll let them suffer a little bit, just for a second longer, and then go and get them. It's just to teach them a lesson.
Ooh, right.
Which is, it's a tough lesson to learn, as
Wow.
long as you are in control of it.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to do the line rescues, Jean-Paul, and
Yep.
then there was sort of surf boats, and then there
Yep.
was kind of IRBs.
Yep.
So you're saying boards and
Powercraft any day of the week.
powercraft any day of the week.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you've got IRB.
Yep.
It was line. My godfather, actually, his birthday today. He used to be at Tama. He was line.
Yeah, right.
Very old school, and then they did boards, or they had surf boats, I think, and then boards came in and tubes, and then they had IRB, and now they've got jet ski as well. But jet ski is only lifeguards use jet skis. They have the authority to go in and out from the beach, and further up the coast, they have the authority or the license to go in and out off the beach. In Sydney, they're allowed to patrol basically offshore. They don't come in and out of the beach, and they do rock rescues and that sort of thing, but they don't come into the beach generally. They don't need to. They've got the lifeguard. The council lifeguards do that.
Did they used to have their best swimmer would take the line out? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And then they'd pull put the life.
Hook them on, hold on to them, and drag them back in. With Lifesaving, you can continue after you do your bronze. You have the option to go either do patrolling or do competition as well. Competition is usually the fittest, the healthiest. They go for it. Bondi has successfully won a number of years in the Masters, which is phenomenal. Really, total hats off to all those lifesavers that really get in there and give it a crack.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's amazing work. Yeah, it's great.
Just going back to rips, what do they look like?
Rips, they're usually nice and calm. Darker water, might be a bit foamy at the top. Waves generally won't be breaking, or water will be sort of going this way and that way, or it might be moving quickly. It'll be usually darker, or sort of it might have a foam on top of it.
What if you are caught in one, Jean-Paul?
Relax, float on your back. Generally with a rip, you're in a deeper water. If you're a strong swimmer, swim with it rather than against it. Float on your back. If you can signal for help, please do.
Swim with it.
But just stay calm. Generally, rips will take you back to where the waves are breaking. So if the waves are breaking on your sandbar in between your flags and you get caught in a rip outside of the flags, it's only going to take you out so far. It's not going to take you to New Zealand or China. It's only going to take you out to the back to where the waves are breaking, and most likely it'll push you back into the beach.
Yeah, right.
Most importantly is to stay calm.
Stay calm.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, though.
It is. Floating on your back, it's pretty easy to do so.
Have you tried it out?
I actually swim in rips quite regularly. It's a lot less effort to get out the back.
Wow.
Lifesavers are taught to use rips.
To use them?
Yeah, use them to your advantage rather than against them.
I see.
Sure, if you're going to rescue someone and they're caught in a rip, you want to swim parallel to the beach to get out of it towards where the breaks. To swim back to where the waves are breaking.
I see.
But generally, if I need to go out and rescue someone, I'm going to jump in a rip so I don't have to battle the waves going out.
You're going to jump smack in the bang in the middle of the rip.
Even with IOB, we will launch a boat in a rip.
Really?
Because it's flatter water.
Wow.
Waves not breaking on the nose of the boat, and it's an easy ride straight out the back.
It's an easy ride. Take the Bondi rip.
Bondi Express.
No need to take the tram, take the Bondi rip. Yeah. Love it. So talk to me. So the mistake with the rip is swimming against it, right? You're just going to get exhausted fast.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Save your energy.
JP, have you had, what is a mass rescue?
A mass rescue is when, I think it's, what's the terminology? It's more than 3 people are being rescued at one time.
Oh, right.
Been involved in a couple of mass rescues in my time, all in IOB, luckily. I remember it was probably about 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. We were, myself and another crew, I can't remember the crew at the time, we were down the South End, and it was probably about 6 people caught in the Bronte Express, and it was nice and flat, nice, lovely, hot, beautiful day. There were waves, obviously, more towards more waves. There were waves more up the beach, but the Bronte Express, or Bronte, the south part of the beach, nice and flat, nice and calm. There were a lot of people, it was such a busy day, 30,000 people at the beach. Everyone in there. You couldn't control it. So what we could do, we could only be there to support. It got to a point where I actually had to throw in my crew with their tube just to hold up a couple of people. And so rather than just operating without a crew, I jumped on the radio and said, I need a new crew. Hauled all the way back, solo drive, all the way up to the middle of the beach, picked up a crew who was Brent Jackson, who is now our ex-president of the Surf Club. And it was the mighty Ormsby Patrol at the time. That was Bassingweight Patrol. And we picked up Brent, we came all the way back down the South End, and then we just did some rescues. In and out. I think we rescued about 6 people within the space of 2 minutes, just picking them up, throwing them in the boat, dropping them off to the beach, back out. Yeah, it was great. Wow. It was adrenaline rush. It was just so much fun. But yeah, it could have been really bad. Right. Really, really bad. We had in the water, we had people on boards, we had lifeguards, there were people out there with tubes, and then we were just picking up people and ferrying them back to the beach as quick as we could. It was definitely an adrenaline rush, and we're really lucky that no one lost their lives, that's what we do. That's what we try to do is and that's every year as we make sure that no lives are lost. Like
7,000 rescues you guys did, and 1,600 lives saved, according to what I was looking at. That's extraordinary.
Yeah, the preventatives are huge, absolutely huge. Every year, we're coming into peak period. Over Christmas, that's usually the peak period because alcohol and water generally do not mix. Silly season just is the hardest time of the year. It's the busiest time of the year. So you got the most amount of public holidays as well, all in a very, very small amount of time. So we've got Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and then there's News Day and I think this year we've got 2 public holidays. We've got News Day Eve and News Day. So there's 2 public holidays back to front. Yeah. It'll be busy. Yeah. And there's the weekend as well. So there's like 4 days on both sides.
So, JP, it's worldwide. Do you have like a world championships, yeah?
There is world championships, yeah.
Yeah.
There is, absolutely.
And so that's... Because it's in a lot of places we don't think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
America, Japan, like Belgium, like
a lot
France.
of Asia, Indonesia.
Right.
Yeah, everywhere actually.
Right.
Then we've had visiting lifesavers from France, Indonesia. We've had Bondi Lifesavers go to Indonesia and Thailand and actually teach the Bronze Medallion, which is fantastic.
Right.
Ireland as well. I've got another mate of mine who did his bronze and now he lives in... We went back to Ireland and then he came back to New Zealand and was doing basically training in New Zealand and learning how to operate emergency procedures, the whole kit and caboodle. It was amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. It's just phenomenal.
And over the years, they've shared intel, haven't
Yeah,
they?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
It's the most inclusive sort of club.
Yeah, okay.
Anyone can learn to become a lifesaver, but all the information is basically shared. When I first started with first aid, it used to be one breath to every 5 compressions. Then it went from, and then it got changed to 30 compressions to 2 breaths. And then at one stage, it just did compressions, and you don't need to do the breaths. All the intel changes, but you always stay up to date with it.
Obvious question, but CPR, you're replicating heartbeat. Is that?
Yeah, all you're trying to do is trying to get blood flowing back to the brain. Because as soon as the brain loses its blood, the brain turns off. That's it. That's obviously the on-off switch.
That's the on-off
You're getting our first primary importance to get blood pumping back through the body, but also get the heart going, but also getting the brain going as well.
But the brain's the command center to say.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So, JP, what's been the most rewarding experience for you?
The most rewarding thing.
Was there one that sticks out?
Most rewarding.
Recognition, being recognised.
Being recognised is pretty nice.
Yeah. You got your gold medallion there. Is that right?
Yeah, Gold Medallion.
Can I have a look?
Yeah. There you go.
That's the
That's
gold medallion. The gold medallion.
That's the gold.
So
You only
what do you get
one
the
of
gold?
those.
What do you get the gold for? Look at that.
The gold, you've got to do a prerequisite swim in an 800-metre swim in pool in 14 minutes,
Okay.
which works out to be 50 seconds per lap
Right.
from memory. But obviously, you do it quicker, it's better it is. That is achievable.
Do you need to keep in training to sort of
You've got to do a proficiency every year with the gold. Silvers, you don't.
Do you personally need to keep yourself pretty fit?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
So if you let yourself go, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, it's hard doing it again. That's why I've done it 4 times and haven't done it every year.
Okay.
Yeah, I had some injuries and I was like,
You also got a service level recognition too.
I did, yeah. Last year I received a national medal.
A national medal. So talk to me, what's that?
It's a long service medal that you do for 10 years, and after 10 years you
Is
don't
that
need
that
to
one?
patrol.
John?
That's a national medal, yeah. Now the national medal is awarded from the government.
From the government?
From the government. It's a national award given let's say from the Commonwealth.
Okay.
That medal can be worn on Anzac Day, which is pretty cool. There's not too many lifesavers actually have the 15 year.
No,
because a lot of people will go do the 10 years and then stop.
Yeah, okay.
There is a couple of people that do have a national medal. And I love patrolling, and I would continue patrolling, but I'll do it later. Once my kids are a bit older, then I will go back to probably. I stay active every year. I do my proficiency every year.
When's your next rostered one?
Well, I'm not rostered on because now I'm doing nippers, and so how I'm staying active is by doing nippers every Sunday. When nippers is on, that is.
Okay.
But I might do a patrol during the school holidays if it fits into our schedule.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how many members in the club there at
Now,
Bondi?
now we've got over 400. Active patrol members, we've got over 400 easily.
Yeah.
Previously, like when I first started, we probably had 200. Before that, they were struggling for members, for sure. It's because what was happening is that Bondi didn't have a great retention. North Bondi and Bronte probably had better retention, but the turnover was really quick. So we'd have a lot of internationals who'd come in, do their training and go, cool, sweet, I've did my training, thanks Bondi, see you later. And they go off on their merry way. Whereas now, because it's really turning into a tight community with the training that Bondi puts on, with the members that are creating a better community as well through social events. It's now I think we've got over 400 active patrolling members who are staying around for more than 5 years.
Right.
Which is great. Mm-hmm. And the club's just getting bigger and bigger and stronger.
Good culture then.
Great culture. Yeah.
And how many members would be at North and South, do you reckon? You mentioned
at North Bondi Bondi?
Yeah, so Bondi 400 and the other guys?
I think North has got a few more. A few more hundred.
Right.
Bondi and Bronte, probably same sort of thing.
And do you all know each other?
Bondi and North Bondi do. There's a bit of rivalry there because there's a swim they call the Stand Mac.
Okay.
And that happens in February every year, which is basically a 400-metre swim between Bondi and North Bondi. Now, Bondi has won it the last couple of swims, but North Bondi really dominate it. Sorry, Bondi. But they do. It's a different surf condition in North Bondi. North Bondi tends to be
it's a bit
more of a pond.
Yep.
And Bondi is more exposed. We get more of the southerly that comes through. In summer, it's more northeasterlies that comes around the corner. And it just makes it Lake Bondi.
I remember doing some surf boat rowing.
Yeah.
And we'd use that. You'd go out there, and it was always nice. It was an easier exit.
Yeah. How long ago did you do surf boat rowing?
That was a while ago, 2013, I think. You were also first on scene at an accident with a motorcycle.
That was 2009. I suppose that was probably one of my early ones as well. 2009, I was first on the scene. I was around Christmas time, and I was coming back to work after doing a late night delivery. And a gentleman, we were at the traffic lights, and a gentleman on a scooter zipped, I think he was a delivery driver, zipped up on the inside between the parked car and the traffic. And one of the parked cars opened the door, and he just went straight through the door window, head first, landed on his face, and dislocated his shoulder. Well, thank goodness there was no spinal injuries, but he was like, "Take my helmet off." I'm like, "Not a chance. We'll wait for the ambulance. We'll stay here." And
not a chance.
Oh no, I don't want to take anyone's helmet off. It's if they've got a spinal injury, that's where it's first going to happen. Because with a helmet is usually you've got to put it. A helmet's weird, so you've got to bend your head to get it on.
I see. Yeah.
I'm going to let an ambulance officer take control of that. If they need to remove a helmet, I'll let a professional do that. It's someone's livelihood. I don't.
And was he okay in the end?
He had lacerations all over his body, and
what did you have to do?
I just kept him still.
Yeah.
I put him on neck support and just reassured him, and checked his breathing and did a body scan. But I got people around me to just call an ambulance, and I just kept him still, very calm. Reminded him that it's all right. He's not dead. Obviously not using those words, but it was interesting. Very interesting. It was lucky that he survived. I think that obviously he would have probably thought better about going up the inside of the traffic for next time. Yeah. But it's I don't know how people ride motorbikes. It's very dangerous. I remember this one bloke. He thought that it was a great idea to strap a couple of water bottles on his body and go swimming.
Right.
And that was his safety vest. So he had like the old 2 litre Coca-Cola bottles, and he made it a device, and he had a harness, and he went swimming in there. Look, it actually worked. Surprisingly, actually. I remember seeing it on the Bondi Lifeguard. What is it called? It was a Bondi Rescue. And I was there. I was like, I remember talking to Reedy about this, and it's like, it's crazy. It's like, mate, there was always some other nationalities that would come swimming fully dressed in jeans and t-shirts, and you'd end up rescuing them.
Would you? Yeah. Would you? That still happens.
Still happens. Oh, look. To be honest, there's not too much since COVID. Like pre-COVID, yes, there was a lot more internationals coming to Australia. Haven't seen a massive influx of international tourists really coming in and going swimming and fully in jeans.
The awareness is getting out there then a little bit more, is it?
Yeah, I suppose awareness is getting out there more, sure. But I don't know, maybe there's not those people coming as much.
Hey, JP, why did the lifeguard not save the hippie?
Why?
He was too far out. Jet ski's big.
It's getting bigger. People, I know a number of Lifesavers have done their ticket.
Yep.
But is again with Waverley Council and New South Wales Surf Lifesaving, you can't come into shore. So it's a solo gig. You're out basically going from Sydney Harbour down to La Perouse by yourself. It's a long day. It's a 4-hour gig, but you're by yourself.
What do you mean gig? What do you mean?
Well, you're patrolling the coastline.
Oh, the coastline.
Yeah, from La Perouse to South Head. Okay, but you're not coming into the beach, so you're just going up and down, zigzagging up and down. Whenever there's a radio call, or it might be a fisherman that's fallen in, or you've got to assess it.
Have they always done that, or how?
Oh, I don't know how long how long jet skis have been running, but yeah, that's generally what they patrol.
That's what.
Whereas when you go down to Port Hacking, they can actually go wherever they want to. They're all within the sort of the zone. They can go into the beach. That's what I understand. But yeah, I think jet ski would be great fun.
It can be calm 1 minute and then treacherous pretty quickly.
Yeah, it can be.
How do you view risk, JP? Does that make sense, that question?
Yeah. So how do you assess risk?
What do you think of risk?
Well, I think knowing, like getting back to my point earlier, is that knowing your limitations. You can assess a big swell and go, not really my cup of tea. I don't think I'll go out in that today.
Right.
I might call on someone who's a bit more qualified, who's more confident and comfortable and confident to go and do the rescue, or even call for assistance. Because we also have Surfcom as well, which is now Surfcom is the radio control, which is basically a patrol captain will talk to Surfcom. So patrol captains are the only ones really to talk to Surfcom. They're like a hub. So if you have an emergency incident where you need an ambulance, you call Surfcom. Surfcom will call the ambulance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you need a chopper, patrol captain will speak to Surfcom and Surfcom will call the chopper.
Okay.
And so it's like the hub that you would speak to go to call whatever you need. They connect the dots.
And is the chopper in the air the whole time, or they just no?
It's just located golf course, the Coast Golf Course. That's where it is. It's basically that's the headquarters, and then they go up and go wherever they need to be.
Is that Central Coast? Do you mean?
No, the coast and the Coast Golf Course, La Perouse.
La Perouse.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah,
and they would do as far as Palm Beach sort of thing, don't know. Yeah,
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
I mean. To Palm Beach, it'd probably be still a half an hour flight, maybe.
Chopper probably a bit less, but
don't know.
Yeah,
it'd be quick either way.
You know what I mean? Like they're not going to Newcastle, or they're not.
I think I'd say there'd probably be another chopper, probably at Belrose.
I see.
And then they'll do the Northern Beaches run.
I see. So JP, have you ever had a situation where you've had to put yourself at significant risk?
I think adrenaline takes over.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good on you, man. That's great. You're really risking yourself for other people. It's great.
I think the confidence that you get from the training that you do with Bondi Surf Club really builds you up massively.
Yeah. We
really went through a lot of training over those 10 weeks that we did back in 2008. But then you do proficiency there every year to refresh yourself on your training, how to rescue, and practicing by doing board rescues, or jumping on a board and having fun, and board paddling and tube and swimming. We do on every Friday we have a group called Love Squad, which is very inclusive squad of swimmers and surf swimmers, and so we go for training. We had a great training session this morning with Troy Stewart, but normally Courtney runs it, and it's a bunch of lifesavers get together and we catch some waves. Bondi is very masters driven.
Masters? Okay.
Yeah, so we have...
Masters driven, okay.
Yeah, so Bondi has nippers, a good selection of nippers, and then they get to the 18s, and then around 18 they sort of change around. They either leave and then they'll come back later, or some members will stay on. But then we get a lot of members that join around their mid-20s, which is I joined around mid to late 20s, 27 I think, 27, 28.
There's different phases.
Yep, and then you join, and then we've got a lot of masters. Now masters is from 30. But then we've got a lot of members who are now life members who have been at the surf club forever. That's part of their family. That is their extended family, and that's what I find with Bondi Surf Club. It is my extended family. I have my mum and dad and my brother and sister and my wife and sibling and my children, but I also have Bondi Surf Club as my extended family. They're my friends, my colleagues, they're my fellow lifesavers. We all meet regularly.
Extended family.
It's a really good community.
There seems to be like there's more sharks around, or what do you?
I think the water's cleaner. Yeah, I think with the water cleaner, I think maybe also with the environment. Now the waters are warmer. The sharks are probably coming close to shore.
Okay.
But you've always there's sharks. It's the ocean. It's their place of swim.
But have you seen more alarms going on and stuff like that, or have we got better at detecting them with drones in the air and stuff like that?
I think a combination of both. There's also the drones app as well. There's that guy who sits there and he films it, and he's named the number of sharks.
And he might let you guys know.
He communicates it. I'm sure he does. I think you got more chance of getting hit by a car than getting eaten by a shark.
Yeah. Are you an ocean swimmer?
I am. Yeah. I love it, but you got to remember. You still, like I said before, you got to respect the ocean.
Yep.
So there's no early morning swimming. There's no late night swimming because that's obviously shark time.
Okay.
I still like go to body surfing when the sun's just coming up, which there's nothing better than being in the ocean when the sun's rising. But what I'm saying is that if it's dark and murky in the water, don't go. Don't go in the water. Don't put yourself in risk.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like it's not my time. It's not my time.
So JP, you being around as long as you have been, you would have seen a bad day where you've lost someone through.
I haven't actually.
You haven't?
Never seen a death while I was on patrol. I've seen choppers hanging around. I think there was a lost Japanese or Korean gentleman, two surfers surfing, and it was a pretty big day, and there were two choppers, and they were hanging out for about 2 hours.
Right.
Or they'd go and refuel or whatever.
Right.
One surfer wasn't recovered. Never been on patrol where we've lost someone. I've been.
Oh, that's good.
Touch wood.
That's good. I would have thought.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, it's good that you're obviously doing a good job. You guys are preventing it.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, very lucky.
What do you love most about it?
The ocean.
The ocean.
I love the ocean. It's just, whatever day you're having, all you do is you go in the ocean and it just cleans. It cleans whatever's going on in your own head. It's literally, that's my happy place. It doesn't matter what's going on. That is my one place that I can go and be free of the noise, completely and utterly free. And it can be calm or it can be big swell, and I can be in the middle of it. And it's the one place that just cleans. It just cleans the noise. It stops everything.
Do you need to be in there for 20 minutes to?
No.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's the feel of the water. You can walk in the water. Like the other day, we went in there after training in the morning, and it's every Monday, Wednesday we'll go for a training session, and then we'll go for a body surf for half an hour. That's sort of our thing that we do. My mentor, my mate Kirby.
Yep.
And that's just what we do. But there was blue bottles the other day, and I went, no. Once you get stung by a blue bottle, you're generally like, I'm not going to go and put myself in the opportunity of getting stung again. You're just like, nah, I don't want to do that. So we saw the blueies there. They were big, and I was like, nah, we have to get in the ocean. So we went in the ocean, and it makes you feel good. It's vitamin C straight away. And you're like, yep, cool. It's like your shot of coffee in the morning. It's just, it cleans it all. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so you go in one way and come out another.
Yeah, you do, 100%.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Transitional gate.
That's great.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like a transitional gate.
Yeah, I like
you
it.
Step it in and you come out a different person.
A wormhole or something.
Yeah, wormhole.
I like it.
Yeah, it's
That's
good.
great.
Yeah.
And so how far would you swim if you do an ocean swim?
We'll do an ocean swim. I'll probably do like a couple of laps to the beach.
Wow.
It's not much.
That's quite
There's
a lot.
other swimmers
That's
there that do longer.
That's a kilometre though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Bondi?
I think Bondi is 800. It's probably
800,
yeah, $1,600, 1,600, I suppose.
1,600 metres. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty easy swim.
Pretty easy swim, you reckon?
Yeah,
But the ocean's different swimming in the pool.
it is
though.
additions. 100%. You got currents.
Yeah.
Yeah, currents a lot easy. A lot. It's thicker water as well. Gives you more buoyancy. But you got currents there.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got no lines to follow as well.
No,
Whereas in a pool, you can just look down and you know you're going straight. Whereas often, I've worked out, and we were talking about this the other day, we were in the ocean, and a couple of the old guys go, have you ever noticed that you always you swing to the right? I was like, yeah, I always like run into someone. And today, like, I ran into like 3 people, not meaning to.
Yeah.
But suddenly they were just there. And I was like, how did that happen? And I realised that I swim to the right.
Swim to the right. What do you think's the biggest thing you've learnt that you wouldn't have got if you didn't join the club? Like, how do you think it's changed you as a person?
Well,
If you didn't become a member, if you never did it, what do you think? How do you think you're different to now? Like, because you seem fit, you're tanned, you seem positive. What do you think if you didn't become a member?
I think my life could have been completely different.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In what way? What do you
I wouldn't have 2 gorgeous children.
Because you met your wife there?
I met my wife through Lifesaving.
Oh, okay.
She was a lifesaver, just fresh from Germany. And she did a bronze medallion, and it just gives you so much opportunity to do things that you don't do.
Opportunity, yeah. Things that you wouldn't normally do.
I mean,
What else?
How many
What else?
people go and do their first aid, or go and do a spinal management course, or do IOB, learn how to ride rubber ducky and surf?
Yeah.
Do competition if they wanted to. I think outside of school, at school those opportunities were basically given to us on a platter, but outside of school, you got to create your own life, really. And by doing Lifesaving, it continued that opportunity there. They were still there. I had to go out and grab them, but it was great. Love it. I recommend it to everyone.
Yeah.
Still do.
Yeah.
Still do indeed. Lifesaving is probably it's definitely helped me with my mental health as well. As I said, it's sort of going into the sea. It just cleanses the palate.
Being social, you're not focusing on yourself. It's
Correct.
It's an outside focus.
Yeah.
I think that's great. You're involved and you're contributing to other people. And you're getting something in return. I thought that was interesting how you said, I feel selfish because I just do it for myself. But you might feel that way, but it's you're getting something back because you're giving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's the saying is, after you do your bronze, people say how to maintain your commitment to the community or the organisation is you've got to work out what you want to do, whether you want to do competition or you want to become a teacher. So when I did my qualification, I taught I probably taught 4 or 5 bronze courses, or been assistant teacher 4 or 5 bronze courses. And that's what you got to do, is like you've got to work out, do I want to just do competition or do I want to help teach a future lifesaver? And that's what I've done.
What's the silver medallion?
Silver?
Yeah.
It's a good question. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
So the silver, that was IOB driver.
IRB driver.
That's aquatic rescue. And that's patrol captain. And that's the bronze.
So you were patrol captain.
So patrol captain for 2 or 3 seasons, and then I did IB crew. This was driver.
Yep.
While I was beach patrol captain, I found that being patrol captain great responsibility, but my strength really came from being in the water and being on the beach and assisting with rescues.
Yep.
And then Aquatic rescue it's basically search and rescue. So you go down a path of like what happens if you lose someone or you lose a child, and what are the processes you go through about like the way you search and do search for like lost child, or who do you contact, or different steps to go through. And then IOB driver, something you got to do every year.
Is it?
It's every year you got to do proficiency.
Is that right?
Same with crew as well. And that was great. I actually, at the time, Bondi didn't have any drivers to go through except for one other gentleman. And so they had no course. So I did it at a different surf club and learned to drive at Bronte. And Bronte is quite a narrow beach, but we had a great time. Yeah. This one time we were driving with another, I was crewing for another driver. I came out the boat just on the point, and huge swell, and friends of mine saw me from Mark's Park and saw me fall out of the boat and was watching the whole thing and the whole drama.
Fall out of the boat?
I got rescued. And when the instructor who came to rescue me, I was like just sitting there bobbing around, like just really calm, massive waves going under the waves. And he rescued me and goes, "You were the most calmest person I could imagine in that situation." I was like, well, it's just the ocean. I was like, look, I've been hit by a car. This is nothing compared to being hit by a car. Okay. So, yeah, look, got rescued, and then we went back out, but that was an interesting day.
Gotta go.
Very interesting.
Patrol's about 4 hours, is it?
Roughly 4 hours, yeah. I mean, the morning patrol seems like a dream. The afternoon patrol tends to drag, especially on a Saturday or a Sunday. It tends to 6, and then sometimes there's so many people, and patrol captain might speak to the lifeguards and say, well, we're going to stay out another half an hour to assist you guys because it's so busy. Right. A lot of people won't leave the beach on a hot summer's day because of daylight saving till 7, 6:37. The flags come down at 7 o'clock. I think maybe 7:30 on a hot summer's day.
They'll come down at 7:30.
I'm pretty sure they come down at 7.
Right.
But still, it's a long day. They go up at 7, finish at 7. That's 12 hours of watching the water.
Yeah. What do you think's the best advice you've received as a surf lifesaver?
Know your limitations.
Yeah, that's it.
100%.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, know your limitations. Yeah. Okay, that's a good one. So, so you can prevent things by just being a bit smarter and stopping and thinking.
Yeah. I think probably my nan has also taught me that one as well. Okay. It's like take a breath, stop and think. Yeah. And I suppose that's resonated with Lifesaving, or Lifesaving's resonated with my personal life as well. But yeah, if you can stop and think about what's going on, think about the situation before you just jump straight into it. You're more cool, calm and collected about actually the way that you react. It works really well. I try and use that knowledge in my everyday life. But yeah, cool, calm, collected, and
stay calm.
Stay
calm's a big one, yeah. So JP, your portrait gets entered into the Archibald.
Yeah. So in 2009, we were on the beach, as we normally do, and watching the ocean, and this gentleman came up with his dad, by the looks of things, and said to me, he's like, is it all right if my dad draws you? I was like, sure, okay, but I got to continue maintaining the look in the ocean,
Is that right?
Yeah, anyway, so he draws away and carries on. 5 minutes later, it's like, wow, that's amazing. I'm standing there all look like professional lifesaver, and I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is great. Let people have a look at it now.
Yeah, and then I said, can my dad take a photo of you? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I took my sunnies off, gave him a big cheesy smile. To be honest, I thought he was another Chinese gentleman. Never thought we get a lot of tourists come up and say, can we have a photo with you? I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. So I took off my sunnies, gave him a big cheesy grin, and smiled for the photo, which you should always smile in a photo, mate. It doesn't matter how you're feeling inside, always smile.
Right.
A year later, the surf club contacts me and said, JP, we've got this guy down here, and he wants you to sign some papers. He's done this painting of you, of the Archibald. And I was like, what do you mean, of me? How do you know it's me? He's like, it's you, to the T. I was like, really? I was like, yeah, and how big is this? Huge.
What?
Absolute huge. So the painting... Anyway, so I met up with his dad, Min Kai Zhao, his name is, and met up with the son. Can't remember what the son's name was. And his son said, Dad's a famous Chinese painter. We've done this. He's done this painting for you or of you, and he wants to submit it with the Archibald. Can you sign these papers?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, sure, absolutely. Why not? Wow. Now, in the mid-30s, my nan was actually in the Archibald. Now, she came second, apparently, from what my mum's told me. We never recovered the painting. Anyway, my one thing was, if he makes it in the Archibald, I want the first rights to actually buy the painting.
Wow.
And so, didn't make it into the Archibald, but I bought the painting anyway.
Oh, it was entered into...
It was entered into it. Didn't make it into the Archibald or making the final cut or whatever it is. But, yeah, the painting's, what is it, 1,300 by 1,200. It's big.
Right.
And so we bought it, and it's now on my wall at home. And
love it. Great.
Yeah, I'll send you that photo.
Can I just check? So he did a drawing of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then went away.
Went away and then did a picture, took a photo, and then the painting is based on the picture. Oh. And then the background is, it's got the patrol tent on it, but it doesn't have the landmark. It's not Ben Buckler. It's a weird... I think it might be of Newcastle, because I think he went all the way up the coastline. Right. But there's an IB there as well, and yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's sort of... It's actually, I've used it over the years. It's like, look, make sure, I've told all patrol members, I said, make sure you smile for any photo that any tourist takes, because you never know where that picture might end up.
Right.
You might be submitted for the Archibald. So
tourist attraction.
Yeah, tourist attraction. That's what it is. Bondi is a tourist attraction.
Yeah, tourist destination.
So, you smile for everything. Any photo, jump into it straight away. Yeah. It's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good. That's it. That's awesome. So Archibald, not everyone gets to go to the Archibald. And you bought it and it's hanging in the house.
Yeah. Got it at home. It's in the hallway. Sitting out the front of my daughter's bedroom.
Very good. Talk to me more about communicating with people on the beat.
I think giving people education rather than just telling no, you can't do that. No one likes to be told. But if you can ask them, do you think that that's a good place to swim? Or ask them questions. Try and get them talking, communicating with you rather than telling them you can't do this. That's when you'll get the go away sort of responses.
Yeah.
But giving them education as well, I think that helps a lot.
Giving them education.
So yeah, there's a rip here, but this is a really good place to swim here, and why? And then, especially foreigners, they might come up to you and go, "Where's a good place to swim?" And I go, well, actually, this place is a really good place to swim. This place, not so much because of, and point out the hazards, and just so they know how to spot them next time.
You're a body surfer, you mentioned. Tell me, that's a skill. That's an art, isn't it? How do you? What's your advice on that? What's your advice?
Practice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But how do you get right out of? How do you get? Some get right out in the front of the wave.
I've got a handboard, so
you've got one of those.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
And how does that? What does that do?
So it gets you out of the wave. Gets you out. Gets you off the wave.
Get you off the wave.
So I've got fins, obviously, to help me get onto the wade.
Oh, you've got fins. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then having a hand plane, it literally lifts you up out of the wave as well.
Oh, beautiful.
Or it might get you into a tube, or it really depends.
So that's a different situation if you've got fins in a tube.
Different. That's
what do you call it?
Fun.
Fins in a
hand plane.
Hand plane.
Yeah. So I've got.
Oh, that's cool.
A WAW. It's WAW hand planes, and they're made of recycled plastic, which is awesome. Like bottles and whatnot. And I've got a small one, and then a friend of mine from this club, he, as a hobby, makes hand planes, and I've got a big wooden one, which is
as a hobby.
as well as a hobby.
Yeah.
He should do it as a business, but
Sure.
he's really good at it.
So that makes a big difference, I can imagine.
So much fun. Really good.
So you need the fins to get onto the wave, sort of thing.
You do.
Yeah.
I recommend them.
You reckon you do? Yeah.
Fins are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's lots of different types of fins you can use.
Is there? Yeah. So we're not talking about big divers fins here, no.
No.
Just like what, little sort of half
There's
ones?
like brands you could think of as Defin, DMCs, which are pretty good. Churchills are pretty good. There's all different types of fins. I use Defin and I also use DMC. Yeah. DMC are really soft, like a rubber, really soft rubber, quite flexible, and they've got like when you on your down kick it opens up like a squid, so it gives you more propulsion. But the ones I probably use the most are Defin.
Duffy.
Yeah, Darfin. It's DAFIN.
It's the people. It's the you meant
People,
the ocean,
fitness, the ocean.
beach. Yeah, that's that's
the
JP's
community.
environment.
Yeah,
That's
love it.
That's
And that's the thing is that exactly we live close to the ocean as well. I'm in the ocean probably 4 or 5 times a week easily.
Yeah. So JP, if someone's any advice for anyone looking to get into the beach life, joining the club,
Yeah.
what would you say?
Just if they want to join Bondi Surf Club, go to www.bondisurfclub.com.
Yep.
Look up your bronze medallion. When the next bronze medallion is, come along to the course or to the talk, join up and get started. That's probably what I'd recommend. The best thing to get yourself ready for it though is swimming. Do some pool swimming. You don't have to be the fastest. It has to be regular. You just got to do it regularly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are they looking for people or
Always.
Yeah.
Always looking for lifesavers.
Why do you say that?
Because it's a volunteer organisation.
Okay. You can never have too many. Do you
Never
mean?
have too many.
Yeah.
It's more volunteers are always welcome. It doesn't matter if it's Lifesaving or it's fireys or whatever. Or it's like Red Shield appealed. Every volunteer is welcome. And then if you want to do education, there's always like basic safety checks. You'll do any children's one for nippers. You do working with children's checks. For training ones, you'll do basic qualifications, which is like two nights, and you'll do a qualification. You'll do a Cert 2 in training and assessing. You can continue that on to doing a Cert 4, which is assessing. And then you could become an assessor.
JP, can I have a look at that one?
That one.
What is that?
That's the Gold Medallion one.
Hold it up.
That's the Gold Medallion award.
The Gold Medallion.
So when you do gold and you also get the medal, you get this. That was 2012, 13. And then this one, that's a Harry Nightingale award. Now, Harry Nightingale was one of our founding members of Bondi. And I got that in 12, 13 as well.
Big year.
Big year. I was actually that year. I think I did 140 something hours for the year.
Right.
I was single at the time, so my life was very much the surf club.
Yeah.
But there is other members now that do 170 hours. They still operate a full-time job. But yeah, it's possible, very possible.
That's interesting. So from before you joined the club to then after being involved in the club and staying in the club, you're just a totally different person.
Completely different circle of friends. I've got, I think I've started, from when I joined the surf club, I was trying to be someone I'm not, to now being someone I am.
Yeah.
I think it allowed me to change.
What does that mean? Let's explore that for a second. So what do you mean? You were trying to be something and you weren't someone?
I was trying to fit in. I was trying to find my place growing up. I think I was 27, 28. I was trying to find my place of where I wanted to be or who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I started hanging out with the wrong people.
Right.
That person initially introduced me to the surf club. That person is no longer in my life.
Why?
They
did a good thing for you, and then
did a good thing.
Yeah.
But then that person or those group of people weren't the people I wanted to hang out with. It was crossing my integrity. It broke my integrity.
Yeah.
And then I started becoming the person I am now.
Yeah.
And who I want to be. There's been a definite process and change throughout my life. And that change continues to happen, which is, I'm very grateful.
Did you consciously know you wanted change?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you wanted change?
Because growing up, I did a lot of charity work there and then.
Okay.
And then I noticed that when things were starting to happen, there was a path I was going down and I didn't like that path. And then not until 2012, when I really hit a solid speed hump,
Yep.
I was traveling.
Can I ask you what that was?
Yeah, sure. I was traveling in Central America, and I got hit by a car,
Right.
and broke 8 bones,
Wow.
and had a life-altering experience where I hit rock bottom.
So that sent you down, yeah?
I was below. I was very depressed.
This
I
is
was-
pre-surf club, yeah?
No, I'd actually joined surf club.
joined
So
then?
surf club was 2007, 2012.
Okay. And so there was a bit of so that was a
It was
period,
an eye-opening moment.
an eye-opening moment.
Yeah, and then
What did you think to yourself? What happened? What was the realisation out of that?
I didn't like the person I was.
Yeah,
I didn't like the circle of friends that I had.
Okay.
It was probably not a whole circle, but there was like 2 or 3 people that I didn't like. Removed them out of my life completely.
Right,
The way that I probably removed them wasn't the best, but we learned about those things.
right.
I should have just walked away from the situation and just let
That's
it go.
interesting. Because it's very much about who we associate with, isn't it? You know,
correct.
Hang out with
Yep.
5
100%. 100%.
surfers, you'll be the 6th, and vice versa.
Yeah,
Hang out with
correct.
someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you had the wherewithal to understand that, and you wanted
Yeah.
that change, and then you did
But
that.
you gotta learn
And
that.
so talk to me. Yeah. So now you are the person that you wanted to be. Is that
Yeah.
what you said?
And that's the thing, is now I have the opportunity. I'm extremely lucky with the support that I receive through my wife and my children and my parents and my brother and sister.
Great.
It's
a real story of transformation. I wasn't expecting that.
They
That's
enable
great, isn't
me
it?
to be the person I am and continue to be. And everything I do now and everything I'm changing now, I'm doing for my kids. Because I just want to make sure that the same mistakes have happened aren't repeated. It's hard. It's a hard lesson. It's a hard lesson. But it's worth every session.
Wow. Amazing. You've learnt, you've gone through trials, you've learnt those lessons, and now you're able to guide and give back to help. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
The life-saving definitely helps it. I think the work that I continue to do personally is allowing me to be more present with my daughter and kids and wife, but also with the kids of all these future nippers.
Yeah.
Because I'm out of my head.
Right.
Yeah, and more present with the kids. And what I'm receiving now with nippers is that watching them change and just the smallest things is so rewarding.
Right.
It's unbelievable. Like I'm watching for example, the other day I was in the water with my daughter who is amazing on the land. She is phenomenal. Like I was like, wow, where is this talent coming from? She's such a great runner. She might fall over and get back up and go again. She's great on flags and she loves it. But seeing her confidence grow every time we go in the ocean it's just amazing. Like the other day, I think it was last Sunday, and I said, "Oh look, I said, what hazards can you see?" She goes, oh, there's blue bottles. She bolted. She'd been stung once, and that was enough for her. And then I was like, oh, well, they'll go and play in the sand and have dig some sand castles. And so, come on, we're all sandy. Let's go and wash off. And so she slowly came out. I said, no one's in there. No one's getting stung. They're all fine. Look, otherwise all these people would be stung. And then before I knew it, she was out the back with me catching waves and actually body surfing. And I was like, yes, this is all I wanted. This is all I wanted. I wanted you to catch waves and body surf. And the fact was, I was just there giggling. I was standing next to her and giggling at her because I was so proud of her, because she'd overcome her fear of just pushing that little bit. And it's just amazing. And then she got it, the award. She's like, are you happy? Are you excited? Are you so proud of me? And it's like, I'm stoked that you had the best day. She said, I had the best day. It was the best day I've had at the beach with you ever. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So nice. So, this week I've taken her back to the ocean and she had another crack, and it's good. It's been good. Great. Seeing her grow is fantastic.
Yeah.
Look, surf clubs are very welcoming, generally. Everyone is welcome. And like I said, the more you put in, the more you'll get back. I've certainly got back plenty over the years. I've certainly helped a lot of people over the years as well, which I'm proud of. And, receiving those awards and that sort of thing, I didn't do it for awards. I didn't do it for anything like that. I just did it to help people, That sort of stuff is...
No, I like
just
it.
Happens.
I love your story. So, JP, as I mentioned before, you're a valued contributing member of the community, and that's what we love. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for coming on today.
Yep.
There's a lot of really great information there about surf lifesaving and what it can do, what you're doing for people and what it can do for you. Yep. I think is fantastic. So thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
To the viewers, we hit our goal. I set the challenge. You hit it. The subscriber level, we hit 30. Thank you. Congratulations. A big favour, if you did enjoy today's episode, please hit the subscribe button. The next goal, what do you reckon, JP? What's the next goal? From they got to 30. We get to...
Oh, we're getting 40.
40.
Yeah.
No, let's do more than that. Let's do 60. 63.
60.
63.
That's a nice number.
63. It's been another world. I'm Chris Thomas, and thanks for watching.